in a city cursed to be a feeding ground for a vampire and his minions. You, the heroes, are there to try and stop him. What's up, everybody? It's James.
And Justin.
That's right, tricked you up, did I? We are here today to do the Cursed City unboxing. Gonna let James sort of take the lead on this one. Why? Because this is his game. He bought it for us to play. Therefore, he gets to open all the goodness. It is his. So, without further ado, we turn it over to Master James.
Good evening.
Yeah.
So, I managed to get my hands on a copy of Cursed City, and allocating to its name, we all know that it is seemed to be cursed with Games Workshop's canceling of its production and canceling any possible follow-up add-ons or expansions or anything like that. But even with the curse and its bad luck for the game, the models inside are the true treasure.
This is right.
And whether or not the game continues is of no consequence, as long as we have fun with it.
Exactly.
So, let us begin with removing that which is on the outside, the bloody plastic. So, first step, done. Always remember, people, recycle. Gotta admit, the box art is just gorgeous.
It is. I mean, I will give this to Games Workshop. All their big sets like this, you usually just have gorgeous, gorgeous art. And even the outside of the inner box is just,
Let's take a look.
great.
All source pictures for painting up these glorious, glorious models. Which, if I remember correctly, this box has over 60 miniatures in it?
Yes. So when we were talking with the Games Workshop rep, they told us around 60 miniatures in this, if not more. He didn't give me an exact number, but he said 60 plus. And he told us to order 2 of them, and we ordered 1, and
I lucked out and managed to get the only copy.
so thanks, Black Box. We got the only one.
So, let's start with the, albeit odd, white plastic sprues, which seems to be the body for the ogre character and I want to say the tinkerer.
Ah, so hero spews. That must be what they did. They did white as hero sprues and the rest as the enemy.
Yes. Very nice. It kind of makes it easier to distinguish.
Yes.
So you've got your hero sprues. It looks like there's 2 total. And I see a lot of fiddly bits that are going to be very interesting to snip off. But then you also have some bits that are very easily removed. And if you look at them, just the sculpting on each of these miniatures is very, very fine. And I'd almost say a little bit finer than some of the Warhammer stuff that you normally get.
I agree.
40K.
I think most things that come in box sets like this from Games Workshop have a lot better detail.
Well, you also got to think this is a standalone game as well. It is not technically based in Sigmar, and it is supposed to be its own standalone, about like the Warhammer 40K Blackstone Fortress. It can be used in 40K, but it is its own standalone campaign. This is kind of their take on a standalone fantasy game where you don't need to know the lore for the rest of the game. You just need to know your miniatures, what they can do, and have fun while doing it.
Exactly.
So the next sprue that I see that's easy to come out, I believe this is Radicar.
Yes.
The big bad evil guy for you D&D folks out there. And looks like it's a rather simple 5-piece model.
Sort of like how the captains were with the Indominus box.
Yes. Looks like he's got some pretty detailed stuff. The wolf mane, the wolf
Wow.
Look at that. I mean, that's going to be fun to paint.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have nightmares about it, but it's going to be fun to paint.
Thank God you got that good old airbrush.
Don't release the secrets yet. So the next one we have looks to be some of the bigger enemy models. Looks like we have I want to say it's a Lycan Wolf, but I do not know the full names yet. And more fiddly bits for some of the undead night keeps. And well, Justin, it looks like one of the models has a pet.
Nice. I think Welcome's the graveyard keeper because there's the shovel.
Shovel, spear, potato, tomato.
Potato.
Oh, look. There's even a little zombie rat.
Zombie rats.
Oh. So, there's that screw. We're going to set that one over here. And the next one, I think this has a lot of the Ulfengard. The undead night guard that you will run into in the game if you're out past nighttime. Oh, it also has some of the unique objective markers like this hanging skeleton piece. And it looks like, yes, we also have one of the gargoyle bats here. And then, oh look, a whole swarm of zombie rats.
Oh, fun. Zombie rats.
Plague companies, eat your heart out. Now all we need is a nurgling to throw in there.
I'm not saying I have a few.
But yeah, so just look at how fine the details are on just these bats alone. They truly outdid themselves on these ones.
Yes, they did.
And, looks like another of the same sprue, it looks like. With more of the Ulfengard, the objective markers, and the goblin carrying a chest.
So, in Diablo, that usually means loot.
Loot? I don't know how to play the lute.
You should have been a bard.
Me big guy, me hit things with stick.
You play drum then.
So, kind of odd for Games Workshop, but instead of the mural paintings that you, with the box art or stuff like that you normally get, it looks like they just gave you a standard blood-streaked background paper that is just one-sided. Still be good for shots for when you get your minis painted.
Absolutely.
Set that right back here.
Now we're getting to the meat.
The meat and potatoes, boys. And by that I mean the base.
Yes.
Because it's all about the base. And it looks like, yeah, lots and lots of bases. I'm assuming, yeah, these are probably the bases for your heroes and your main villain lieutenants. And then this is for all of the objective markers and the, I want to say the Ulfengard are probably going to be on these slotted bases.
Yep.
And it throws me back to my the first Space Marines I got, which was out of the Hell's Reach box with the slotted bottoms.
Weren't all the plastic on those blue too?
No, it wasn't blue, but it was very dark gray and very, very hard to trim.
I have the blue models with the slotted base.
Ooh, the Inner Dice Goblin's going to be happy about this.
Oh God, yes.
A full bag of D6s, custom D12s, and there's even a D8 in here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Looks like
Inner Dice Goblin happy.
Looks like a couple of 10s also.
Those are D12.
Alright, it's 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just
no, they're a little bit bigger.
Birdie.
Yeah.
So let's see, we have, and I gotta admit, they actually package this stuff really well compared to some of their other box games that I have opened, like the Necromunda. The Necromunda one was very just haphazardly thrown in there, it seemed like. This one, it's actually rather well put in there. All the cards are in one little package here. And it looks like got your character cards here. These are for your evil guys, so like Radicar the Wolf or Radicar. however you want to say it, and all of his info, behavior table, everything like that. So those of you that have played Pathfinder D&D, it's probably going to have a similar play style in a way to some of those. So we'll see how those turn out in a minute.
I foresee us printing a box for those.
Yes, organization will be key. Looks like we have one bigger base. Rulebook, instruction manual, all good, all necessary. Looks like we have a little bit of a mini poster for the novel by C.L. Werner for Cursed City, a Warhammer Quest novel. Looks like it should be able to be gotten at Black Library. We'll see if that's true or not. And on the backside, just the art without the little added info about the novel. Neat little mini poster. Yes, mini posters. Good propaganda.
Yes.
And then looks like we have a single page instruction. It's an errata for how to build. Oh, so there was an extra mini in there that I did not see.
Ooh.
So that must be. This is the gentleman that's on the sprue with our Goliath friend. So this looks like our dwarven tinkerer guy.
Awesomeness.
Sorry, I am not very widely versed on Warhammer Fantasy, so if he is a specific race, forgive me. I do not know them yet.
There are dwarfs in Age of Sigmar.
So it looks like there's a few things left in here. A lot of the weight for the box seems to be punch-out cardboard. Looks like we've got gaming mats for maps. Sorry, not mats. So it looks like you've got castle, dungeon, throne room, maybe a temple of some kind.
Yeah.
And then we've also got tokens, and I haven't read the rules yet, but I'm assuming this has to do with the nighttime, daytime, so this is probably the clock for in the game for when the enemies come out at night. So, going to be very interesting. And looks like we have different tokens for either enemies or... Yeah, these are probably for the lieutenants and the big bad evil guy. Got a punch-out range ruler. That's kind of nice.
Yes. Wounds I've taken.
Interesting little thing. We'll have to read the rules right quick, and then we are going to come back with a little bit better of an understanding of all this. But the last thing in the box, which surprisingly is baggies,
Keep all the punch outs.
Which comes in handy for your cardboard punch outs when you have, 5 sheets that are, the back sheet alone has over 60 punch outs. So we'll be right back with a better understanding. Alright, welcome back everyone. So we've had a little bit to look at the cards and the rule books and the quest book. We have a basic understanding of how the game works. So you've got it is similar to D&D mashed up with a tabletop board game. So you've got different activation cards for good guys, bad guys. You've got different discovery cards that are used for different things. So treasures, traps, beasts, monsters. You have level up cards for traits or your characters, whether they're stalwart, executioner, a lore master, or a blade. You've got some mortis cards. We have not yet figured out what those are. We have not found them in the rules.
We've looked.
multiple times. Then you have empowerments, which are enchantments, armor, weapons that you can get to apply to your characters. And then we have encounters that are, depending on what your level your hero is, it decides what type of enemies or how many you're going to be facing. And then we have our exploration cards, which are a map token to show where on the map an item is supposed to be placed and whether for each setup and whether or not it is of importance for the story or has a weapon or an enemy. Then you have your Ulfencairn in Peril game card that has whether or not the city's in fear, whether or not you have influence, and the counters. And then these are the spots for the tokens for each of the 5 major characters, the big bad evil guys.
Decapitations.
That you must do a mission in order to hunt down and decapitate the enemies. And once you do those missions, you get the token and you place it on this card. So this game can be done in one day or one sitting, but it's, from what we've looked at and read in the rules, it is a game that is going to be somewhat of a legacy game, so multiple games to make the whole campaign. Part of that is the envelope for the Ulfenhain in Peril, and it is not opened until you go to the last mission after the last decapitation hunt. So we will not be opening it because, hint hint, we will be eventually doing a full story campaign for this game.
Yes.
It'll be a while because we must paint these glorious minis.
Build and paint.
But we have figured out the different tokens are for level ups, you know, the different inspirations. You have the tokens for the decapitations for your big bad evil characters, your ruling and measuring stick, your wound trackers, and this shows whether or not it's daytime and nighttime, the quest you've done, and then your fates, whether they've been spent or not. Also, we have in the box you have your character sheets for their standard character and when they're inspired, so they get a boost. And then you also have the enemies for whenever they're standard, or if the city is under fear, they get empowered.
So how's this tie into Age of Sigmar? Isn't there a sheet about this?
So, these tie into Age of Sigmar. It is its own game, but if you wanted to bring these fantastic models to one of your games of Age of Sigmar, we have the War Scrolls book that comes with it that has the list of traits and stats for each of the models in the box for if you wanted to bring them along in a game. It also has on the back a point cost and unit type and notes for any of the units in the box. And most of them you will see as leader because they are characters. There are some that are battle line, however, which are going to be your zombies or skeleton warriors, so those are going to be the ones that you can bring along. So they will not get any of the bonuses from the army, so they most likely be running as a mercenary. Now, the fun part is that with the 4 sheets of double-sided, you will get each mission, you get to build the maps of the mission you're doing. Also, you can run it multiple times. You can do one mission, then you have to where you just like to close out. But each one is different areas. So you've got the derelict mansion, the abattoir alley, you have the dish-like square, and you have different barracks and stuff like this. So these are going to be your map setups for most of the missions. Token cards. This is going to be the setup that you use map-wise for that mission, and this is going to give you a victory conditions and the consequences if you fail. So, look forward to seeing the glorious models built and sometime in the future we will have the first game for the city. That is right, everybody. So, like always, if you'd like to see me coming by, please hit that like and share button. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to catch out more
being said, they'll be available on Sunday, but it'll go live on YouTube on Monday. With that being said, thank you for stopping by. Keep creating, keep being awesome.
We'll catch you on the flip side.